Hello, dear solution partners, and welcome to a new episode of Mars Talks. So today we are together with one of our dearest solution partners, Pera Property, and here is Koray Dillioğlu. So let's get to know first Pera Property. Hello, I know you have a long story, but let's take it short. I'm listening to you.
First of all, thank you for having me here. And short story is not something Koray is used to, but I'll make it as brief as possible. Pera is formed, because of the international market, but now caters for domestic as well as international. I'm originally an expat, moved to Turkey. I lived in Britain for about 30 years. And in the last sort of 20 odd years, I've been involved in sales and marketing, and it included real estate, finance, and a few other things. So when we formed Pera Property, we focused on about 7-8 different cities. And then in the last sort of 4 years, predominantly focused on Istanbul alone. We have an experience of, I'd say, about 70 years combined experience in the office with our portfolio manager. Been doing this in Istanbul for 30 years, and our general director been doing it for the last 17 years. And me in sales since 2003. So Pera is located in Istanbul and operates pretty much all around the world. We don't have a specific country that we focus on. And we do have a major Turkish market as well that we've started about 2 years ago, and it's been going fantastic.
Okay, I'm really very lucky to have such an experienced person here next to me. So before I get to my next question, actually it's including the question now, if we look at the exposure of the Turkish market globally, how would you interpret that? And what triggered you in that case to come over to Turkey?
Well, actually, this is what triggered me. I mean, the exposure to international market, because Turkey, I mean, I've sold properties in Spain in 2010, 2009, 2011. So I've seen the financial crisis and the property market in Spain. I even sold in Bulgaria. I know the market around there as well. So to Turkey, when it became by law, as well as transparency, available to the international market the way it is right now, is the reason I moved to Turkey. So I've actually moved for the business opportunity and then, settled down here, and I love it. And being a Turk helped me out a lot. But the reality is Turkey, going back about 10 years ago, was less known in the real estate market in the world. In fact, we were not in the top 20. I'll even give you a stat from 2013. We were actually 21st in terms of desired places to be purchasing real estate. Now, we always had, since 1950s, an opportunity for the international investor to come in and buy in the Mediterranean and the Aegean Sea. We had those little purchases here and there, but they didn't put us into the main frame. They didn't put us into the league of the big boys. But now we are surpassing Spain by 25%. We're nowhere near France and US, but we're definitely not far off from UK. So we're in the top 5 right now, and that is in the last few years. That is in terms of the number of sales, but we could actually be way ahead of everybody else because of the demand and because of the logistically where we are. Because a lot of people buy in Turkey for different reasons, and those different reasons in other countries don't exist. They only have one reason to be purchased. Like, for instance, if you're buying in London, it's only for one reason alone. But in Turkey, you have so many different reasons. A, we're a hub. B, there is citizenship offer. C, there is seaside towns, incredible places. And also, I always tell people, we have a city that other people don't have, which is Istanbul. Everybody fought for it, we have it. So Turkey's exposure and the reaction is not necessarily where it should be. Like, I'll give you a small, sort of...
Is it maybe because of cultural prejudgment?
That
rest
might be
of the
there.
globe is seen here.
I mean, we are not, look, I mean, I'll give you a simple answer to that. Something that you'll love as a Turkish brand, nobody will even question it, and everybody will recognize, which will be Turkish Airlines. Anywhere in the world you go, the logo instantly recognized as Turkish Airlines. So Turkish Airlines has been an ambassador for Turkish brand and making it, anywhere in the world we can see it. In Europe, we even have a basketball league named after them. But the Turkish real estate, compared to other industries that we haven't had the pleasure of exposing it the way we do. Now, until 2017, we did try a little bit, which was the exhibitions around the world. We were in every single one of them. Small scale, but not in the scale of Turkish Airlines, let's put it. So we haven't actually taken this market and forwarded to everywhere around the world. I have clients from South Africa. clients who only passed through here and then love the country, and they're buying from us. I have clients from US, they actually came down with a cruise ship and ended up buying here. I have clients from Qatar who actually saw it as a hub to travel all around Europe. So we have different diversity in terms of the clients coming in.
And what do you think is the solution for that? Like, do we need to more cooperate with the ministries, for example? Or should maybe the foreign agencies get to and do something together in that case? What is your opinion?
Well, it's people like you guys. For instance, other main key players here, the solution partners, you call them, the agencies, or they have 25 different names. So you guys are doing an exposure, so am I. I'm constantly advertising without even talking finances and mathematics. And people like me who own companies like real estate, companies like Para Property, they're going to end up doing the same thing. They'll constantly advertise Turkey. So when you explain it to an average Joe in Turkey saying, this is what I do, they think that the international people just come and find me and I sell them a house. It takes me 3 months to land somebody into Istanbul to convince them to buy here, just like I did in Bulgaria, just like I did in Spain. So in Istanbul, bringing time, a realistic bringing time of a client is 3 months. So to bring someone here, you do need other exposures, other help. Yes, ministry. I mean, I actually have spoken to wonderful people in the government, and they are keen to understand what we do. It's getting there bit by bit. It's not necessarily 100% there. But the incentives in terms of promoting the Turkish real estate isn't necessarily there from the government side. But they are trying bit by bit. Okay. But the other parts that should be, because the prices are phenomenal in Turkey right now. Everybody's looking at Turkey and trying to understand what's going on in terms of how we are in the top 3 in the world in terms of the rent increases.
And actually, the foreign direct investment last year was 100% out of foreign sales and real estate.
Yep.
So we need to do something for that.
Well, also the developers have to do more, which they did a little bit and then stopped. Yeah. Like for instance, there is an exhibition that's going to happen in the next, let's say, 6 weeks in Dubai. And I'll give you an example. I don't have a Turkish developer going there.
Okay.
But we have 7 agencies going there at the moment.
Okay.
So the investment from the developer side to get their brand out there is less and less these days. But this is not just for Turkey. Everybody is a bit more cautious. I mean, even the Spanish or the British developers are wondering, should they be in the exhibitions because of the pandemic? I can understand that. But Turkey has stopped doing exhibitions in real estate, I would say, since 2017 heavily. Now, doing it in Turkey is not what we need to do. We're doing it in other countries is what we need to do, which is what amazing brand name Turkish Airlines does. Every single exhibition all around the world, they're always there. So developers, agencies, solution partners, as well as the government, yes, they do need to do more. But in terms of exposure, bit by bit.
Okay, since I have you here, I have one more global question. Like, do you see it coming that the customer reserves from the Middle East are running out and we need to move more to the West and other countries or other parts of the globe? If so, do you see it coming, and can we go for that?
Well, I didn't actually start with the Gulf. I didn't start with the Arabic-speaking countries in terms of doing real estate in Turkey. I started with Russia and UK. And I'll be very frank, until about 3 years ago, we didn't have any Arabic speakers in our office. And
your customers haven't been the ones who were interested into citizenship?
Well, I'd say 70% of them are and 30% aren't, or vice versa. That changes every month. But the point I'm trying to make is Turkey has moved from region to region, targeting it. I mean, at the moment, we have other countries that are a bit more keen on Turkey. I've actually literally just came to this meeting by closing a sale from Holland. If we look at the actual investment, I'm sure the statistics can give you, in other industries, you will see Europe is still investing in Turkey. But in real estate, yes, we did have a Middle East and Gulf region heavily pushing towards Turkey. And Turkey in 2015 adapted to move away from Russia. Russian clients disappeared at that time and then, ended up with another country. So this will happen again. And Turks are very good at adapting. We are very good at being engineers at what we want to achieve. So Turkey will turn around and move on to other countries. I am actually, right now, I gave you an example of South Africa. I'm actually going to another country. I've just literally did a couple of deals with Indonesia. I have solution partners in Malaysia. I am heavily advertising in the UK compared to last 2 years. The demand will change, but it's what we offer them matters. So if we move from one country to the other, demand for Turkey will not disappear from the international market. Since 2014 it started, it's going to continue to grow.
Yeah, that's what we want to see. Like with the Turkish airline slogan, widen your world, we want to be everywhere. So, but do you see also there a bubble in the market, and do you feel it's going to burst?
Look, that's probably a very sort of confident question that in terms of you can ask to any real estate owner. I appreciate that. But the reality is bubble is all around the real estate. That's one of the reasons, when you're going for real estate in an English speaking country, you always consider there's this theme that you say location. So in terms of Turkey is all of those three, location, and location. Istanbul is the flagship city, but the bubble burst in Spain in 2009.
Yeah.
And then again, it burst in 2012. Dubai, exactly the same. I'm also an investor, so I do know where to follow. And I'm telling you now, Turkey is quite strange in terms of explaining the bubble. So let me give you this mathematics. The Turkish bubble, the population over 80 million. I'm from a city called Trabzon. Okay, the population under 1 million, the living population. But if I travel around Istanbul, I'll see about 3 million people from Trabzon in Istanbul. So Turkey has a traditional migration from smaller cities to Istanbul. So demand for Istanbul, 95% from the Turks, 5% from the international. Now that 5% slice is really important. But the 95% is going to continue, which means the demand is going to continue. So will the bubble burst? Well, the bubble is not going to burst in Istanbul in the very short period. I don't even expect it to burst in the next 5 years. This is my own opinion.
Okay.
If it does, you remind me of this. But the Turkish market closes the gap of what the international doesn't bring. So during the pandemic, I'm sure you'll remember, no international sales, no flights coming in. All around the world is the same thing. And Turkish market, real estate market, did the biggest sale of the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Because the government took incentive and gave incredible mortgages to people, and the Turks ended up buying. I ended up with cousins calling me that I didn't know existed, saying that they wanted to buy. So the bubble to burst, the demand from the local needs to disappear. And the local is a producing and a continue to grow type of a country. I mean, 80 million people. Will the bubble burst in China in real estate? Never. The population is actually the reason where the bubble can turn around and sustain. Now, yes, there is a bubble. Yes, the prices are higher than they were before. Yes, I think the confidence of Turkish real estate developers has gone one level higher than they were about a year ago. The answer for that is Istanbul. Okay, I had a client came into me and said, this apartment, I can buy it in King's Road in London for this price. And I went like this, absolutely you can. But this is Istanbul.
True.
So if the bubble bursts in real estate in any country, it needs to be able to survive and re-emerge. And Turkey can do that. It's simply because of the population, simply for the demand that's coming in towards the country. Don't forget, 25% of the country lives in Istanbul. So that is a huge number.
Absolutely.
Even if the bubble has a bit of a crack, that's going to be mended really quickly. So no, I don't expect a bubble burst, but I do expect in the next couple of years, in fact, in the next 12 months, so the prices to settle down, in fact, in the next 6 months.
Okay.
So this increase that we had in the last 6 months is very high. So from now on, I just wanted, I expect and I want to go a little bit slower and steady so that we can continue keeping the clients in the speed and in the time zone that they are buying. Like, let me give you an example. A client who actually looked at a property last month is going to pay about 20% more this month. That's a bit harsh.
Yes.
But I know the government's actually doing a lot of talks about this at the moment in terms of the increases. Turkey has a general rule, the prices don't go down, but they can stand steady, which is what's going to happen. So no bubble burst, from my opinion, for the next 5 years.
Okay, I particularly agree with you. But now I have the next question. Like, how is your relationship to sales and marketing agencies? What are you expecting from them? And what is your experience with Mars?
For the overall sales and marketing agencies, I'd like them all to retire. No, I'm only joking.
Why so?
No, I'm not joking. To be fair, look, Pera Property is a company that has a portfolio of every single developer and a lot of second-hand properties as well. Because we actually, before we formed our company, we made sure we had the portfolio. Now, in terms of other solution partners that I work with, I'm going to get to Mars in a minute, but overall,
Okay.
we do genuinely like what they do. But our main request and demand would be is that to make sure that the relationship between the developer and the marketing agencies needs to be a bit more solid and transparent, so we can provide the best service. Turkey is going through a lot of changes in terms of laws, in terms of structure in real estate and citizenship and other fields. So there are things that we need improvement in, such as expertise reports, such as the evaluation,
which is just
understanding, which is happening now with a lot of headache.
Yeah.
Again, a consultation and a group of people getting together and understanding and finding solutions to problems should be easier. But we wait until the birth of a child to name the child. So we need to come up with the name already. It's the it's the attitude I have. Now, a lot of sales and marketing agencies that we know and work with so far has been pleasure, and they're all nice. Some challenging. But Mars is one of the ones that we work in. I personally avoided working with Mars because I thought they sold everything in Turkey. I'm only joking. Mars is probably one of the agencies that that knows everybody in my office. So we know all their projects. And one of the things about that Mars that we like, they actually work with brand names. In the real estate market, having a trusted brand name attached to yours takes yours a bit further as well. So your brand name goes further. So Mars has done that. I mean,
but is this just a selling part that you see, or is it giving trust, or is it also solving your problems and is making your way easier?
Which is exactly what I was trying to say. I mean, Mars for me has been a solution partner in terms of solving issues. I mean, I probably call Hakan, every 2 days. If I don't, he gets jealous, so he calls me. But and it's to solve a problem and also, pass ideas. Like, for instance, the last newsletter he sent me through in terms of the stats of Turkey, I genuinely didn't have time to actually collect that data that month myself, and I looked at the Mars one, and I'm still using it. So Mars has, that background a bit more sorted out, so that the newsletters they send out or any issues that we have with a client, and I had a very challenging client recently from Azerbaijan, and they actually jumped in and they fixed everything. It's important to have these tools. And don't forget, until about 10 years ago, our real estate development companies didn't have a marketing department that involved sales. They had a marketing department just for the advertising. Those sort of for the sales, they didn't. So people like Mars, they actually do turn around and add value to our own brand name. So solving problems is definitely key point, but for me, it's also the knowledge behind the developer as well as the industry and keeping up to date with the industry. Like, for instance, I could actually call you guys and say, hey, I heard this legislation just passed through. Is this correct? Before calling the government, I'm sure that your team will have a better understanding of it than I do. So we get information from each other. So yeah, I mean, marketing solution partners are important, but in terms of the way I stand, I'm a bit fussy. So people do know we have a British background. Now, I mean, you have a sort of German expat relationship yourself, so you do know that there are certain things I'm a bit more obsessed about, such as transparency. I'm from Trabzon, and everybody says hallederiz, and which means like, we'll sort it out.
This is something I've never get along with.
So this is exactly what I'm trying to say. Like in real estate market, this does happen, but it doesn't work with us. So people know that, in fact, some people actually think that I'm just an English guy who works in Turkey. I'm actually Turkish, and I genuinely follow some of the British system in terms of sales and marketing that allows me to maintain my clients without even advertising. So Mars is for us one of those companies who are actually very transparent, and we like them because of that. I feel like I've done a lot of promoting for Mars, but this is genuinely what I feel. Look, I mean, some people can just be a partner without any solutions, but if they don't add value to you, you don't even say anything about them. So I do have a lot to say due to the fact that, genuinely worked out for us.
Yeah, it's very nice to hear that, and it's really empowering us. So thank you for coming.
Pleasure.
Thank you for taking time, and hopefully together we will evolve and develop the market and try to make the best out of the industry.
I hope so. Thank you for having me. Pleasure.
So, dear solution partners, this was Koray Dilleoğlu from Pera Property. Let's see who we will host next week. See you soon.